The topic of this presentation is the disease smallpox, caused by the microorganism Variola major. We will discuss the history, symptoms, and recent developments of this devastating microbe.
Smallpox is caused by the Variola major virus. In the cartoon above, we can see that the virus and its interior structures. In the first image, you can see the core, palisade layer, body, and envelopes to protect the core and outer surface. You will also notice that the core is protected by several layers, and the outside contains surface tubules, which can help the cell adhere to a host cells. The fall of smallpox began with the realization that the survivors of the disease were immune for the rest of their lives. This led to the practice of variolation, which involves exposing a healthy individual to infected material from a person with smallpox in hopes of producing a mild effect that provides immunity from further infection. The first recorded use of variolation was in 1022 with a Buddhist nun. She would grind the scabs from a person infected with smallpox into a powder and blow it into the nostrils of the person who is not yet immune to the disease. This method of variolation was popular in Turkey, India, and in China. In China, where the practice became so common that special utensils were forged specifically for the purpose of blowing the powdered scabs directly into the person's nostrils. Variolation eventually reached Europe in the late 1700s. European physicians used variolation and reported devastating results. Overall, 2 to 3% of people who are variolated dies of the disease, but this practice greatly decreased the total number of smallpox fatalities. Many European physicians intentionally made the practice more complicated by mixing in other processes, such as bloodletting, so as to deter people from performing variolation. This was done more as a way for the physicians to make money than to protect their patients. Edward Jenner, an English physician, observed that milkmaids who developed smallpox, a less serious disease, did not develop the deadly smallpox. In 1796, Jenner took the fluid from a cowpox pustule on a dairymaid's hand and inoculated an 8-year-old boy. 6 weeks later, he was exposed to smallpox and did not develop any symptoms from the disease. Jenner coined the term vaccine from the Latin word vacca, which means cow. In 1800, over 100,000 people have been vaccinated worldwide. And now, Ms. Kelsey Parrish will give you all a rundown of the symptoms associated with smallpox.
Vaccination is very important because smallpox is a very serious ailment. Symptoms arise within 12 to 14 days of coming in contact with the virus. Symptoms include backache, fever, vomiting, fatigue, diarrhea, headache, and a rash that eventually turns into blisters that tend to scab over. Severe dehydration, encephalitis, blindness, infection of skin, weakened immune system, and death are all complications that have arisen from smallpox. In fact, smallpox was the root cause for 30% of blindness in the past.
Smallpox was essentially wiped out in 1979. Still, the smallpox virus is kept in 2 biological research labs. The exact locations are unknown, but it is said that the last 2 are in Russia and the US. Steps have been taken to ensure that we are prepared for smallpox if it ever becomes an issue again, either through reemergence as a stronger naturally occurring strain, or is once again used as a biological agent of warfare. There is a debate about whether to destroy the remaining supply of live smallpox. The decision was postponed until 2014. There are many articles about smallpox, specifically its vaccine. The smallpox vaccine is believed to be risky because of the potential for side effects, the least common but most severe being brain swelling and death. Recently, organizations have primarily worked to contain the remaining smallpox virus and use the vaccine in carefully controlled situations. The main concern is protection against a resurgence of the disease.
As you all could see, smallpox was a very serious disease that affected many individuals. Smallpox has changed the world of medicine because immunity and vaccines have emerged from the studies of smallpox. This method of eradication gave hope that other diseases could be prevented by vaccines as well.